Well, hello there. It is Thursday, February 7th, 2019. A couple huge interviews coming up today. Rex Ryan sat down with us during Super Bowl week, and we chatted about Rex that only Rex can chat about. Football, life, his transition to TV. He is an electric factory.
Oh, yeah.
Rex Ryan. I love everything about him. And then we dive deep and go behind the scenes of the WWE with a guy who's been there for 22 years. The voice of the WWE, Michael Cole, gives us a behind-the-scenes look at how the WWE operates, his life as a political journalist before he got into the WWE, covering Waco, which was a cult that lit their shit on fire. I mean, it was a 50-minute conversation that dove into some incredible topics. You're going to enjoy the hell out of it. And we're so lucky that you choose to listen every single Tuesday and Thursday. I honestly can't thank you enough. There's so many things happening in my life, and I noticed this while talking to Michael Cole. You'll hear it later. I'm the luckiest dude on earth, and if it wasn't for you guys listening and for you listening to everything we got going on here, none of this would be happening. So thank you so much. Next week, we will be on vacation, but Ty Schmidt is putting together a couple best of episodes of throwback episodes, way back episodes, basically your favorite parts of our show, right?
Correct, yep.
And there's a lot of people that might not have heard a lot of these things because we've gained a lot of new listeners. So we're going to take it back. It's going to be Ty's picks basically next week. Tuesday, Thursday, you'll enjoy the hell out of that. And then we're back that following week with some heat for St. Patty's Day, whole new interviews, whole new everything. So we're going to take a week off. I'm going to go to Hawaii. A couple boys going to Mexico, Miami. We're going to go hit the refresh, reset, recharge button. Hey, I knew we'd get there. It's going to be a great week. We're thankful for you. And Ty's going to put together some incredible shows. So Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Heartland Radio 2.0 will still be on schedule. It'll just be best ofs, which probably be better than normal episodes.
They might be, yeah.
Well, Ty's brain's a lot better than ours, so let's assume if Ty's putting together, it's going to be great. And we couldn't do any of this without our friends at SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the greatest ticket buying app on planet Earth because they scan all the other ticket buying apps, and they find you the most bang for your buck. What you see is what you get. And it's not just for sports, although there's a lot of sports going on right now. Go to a hockey game. You'll love the sport of hockey. Maybe go check out some basketball. Last night in Indiana, Ty got a chance to go to a basketball game. He's a LeBron James fan. All they did was talk about who they should trade in the entire arena.
Pretty much, yeah.
You loved it. You go out with your lady. It's a story because you're not just going to a live event. You're not just going to a theater show. You're not just going to comedy. You're not just going to a sport. What you're doing is creating a memory. You're creating a story. You're living a little bit. And that's what SeatGeek does. And if you use promo code PAT right now, you get $10 off your first SeatGeek purchase. So please go live a little and spend a little with your friends at SeatGeek, who are great humans selling elite tickets to world-class humans like yourself. And also shout out to Upstart. Upstart is a revolutionary loan company that's changing the game completely. Applying for a loan is a lot like applying for a job that you don't get to interview for. Instead, loan companies make their decisions based off your credit score and history without getting to know the whole you. That's called judging a book
by its cover.
We don't do that.
No, we don't.
Now, thanks to Upstart.com, it never has to be that way again. Upstart is revolutionizing the way you borrow money by rewarding you for your job experience and education in the form of a smarter interest rate. Unlike traditional credit underwriting, which could be biased against people with a short credit history, Upstart goes beyond the traditional FICO score when assessing your credit worthiness. Upstart believes you're more than just your credit score. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in less than 2 minutes without affecting your credit score. The best part, once your loan is approved, Ty,
yeah,
the funds,
I mean, what's going on with them?
Transferred. Very next business day. The next day, over 100,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards, student loans, fund their wedding, or to make a large purchase. Maybe get yourself something nice with a low interest rate because it goes beyond your FICO score.
Not a bad idea.
Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. Hurry to upstart.com/heartland to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Check your rate only takes 2 minutes, and it won't affect your current credit. That's upstart.com/heartland. Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Ryan. Ryan. You get it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who's been a head coach for the Buffalo Bills. He's been a head coach for the New York Jets. He's been a defensive coordinator all around the world. He's a legend. He's an ESPN personality. He's a guy that I enjoy immensely and can't wait to chat to. Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Ryan.
Hey, good. Woo! Man, I like to sit up here. You got a little heat going.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Man, I mean, Atlanta is this cold. Shoot.
It's freezing.
Rex, I'll tell you what. We had no heat yesterday up here while we were setting this up for the first time. Cold as balls. Did not expect it in Atlanta. There's zero Southern hospitality from Mother Nature, but we got to move forward. I have a question for you. What is your football philosophy? Every time I hear you talk about football on ESPN and all your interviews, it's like it's a game that's physical but a lot of fucking fun, I believe, is what you try to pitch, basically.
Pretty much. And it's funny because I was reading the other day, a guy that worked, was a secondary coach for me, just got the Bears defense coordinating job, Chuck Pagano, and he said,
It's my guy.
we got, kill philosophy. I go, dude, you flat stole that. Like, you
Likable and
stole
learnable.
that. That's exactly right. But that's kind of it, because, that KISS philosophy, that was for somebody else. But to me, it's the, but that's really what it is. And get after it, enjoy it. And, yeah, it's a physical brand of football. I grew up, my dad always said that a big hit would change the momentum of a game faster than anything. And it's true. It's whether your punter's running down the field smashing somebody.
Let's go.
Whatever.
Let's go.
But it's the truth. And I think that's the way the game's still played. And I know, look, there's a lot of different rules, all that stuff. You can't, take somebody's head off anymore, but you can still be physical. And I think, for the most part, the most physical team wins.
Are you trying to get back into coaching? There's been a lot of rumors that you're getting back. I talked to Chuck last week, right? I was very lucky to play for Chuck, watch him go through leukemia. He's just an incredible human. I think he looks up to you a lot, too. So he's a great guy. But talking to him, he said he knew like a week out of coaching that he wanted to get back into it. After he left the Colts, it was like a week where him and Tina, they were getting a little antsy. He was around the wife too much. She was getting sick of it. He said, I need to get back with the team. Now he's with the Bears. Are you kind of feeling that same way? Or is the media helping you a little bit?
No, it helps me a little bit. I have a son that's coaching with the Chargers, so I get my fix that way. My brother just got back in with the Redskins, so that helps. But there's no scoreboard in what I do right now, and it's tough when you've been competing all your life, and 30 years I spent as a coach. So yeah, you definitely miss the locker room. You miss the competition, and so that I definitely miss it, and I was tempted to come back in, but for whatever reason, nobody called me. I guess I'm unlisted. I don't know what it is, man.
Chiefs rumors weren't real.
No, that was what's so funny. Like, I get a lot of them. I even had one about college or something like, oh, he's interested. He's gonna, he wants a job at Miami. I'm like, what? No, I'll take the Dolphins job, but I wasn't going to go to the Hurricanes. Now, if Ray Lewis and Ed Reed were playing, maybe I would. So to me, I got a pretty good gig right here.
And you do well, by the way.
Well, I appreciate
You do really
it.
well.
Shoot.
I feel like whenever you were doing your press conferences as a head coach, you kind of, you teabagged the entire league when you came in. You became instantly the most entertaining human in the NFL. You became a face almost of the NFL.
That's hard not
For most.
Must see, well, not these Patriots fans. Must see TV though. Anytime you got in front of a microphone. So I imagine ESPN's very excited to have you. Have you felt comfortable in it? Have you had to? Is there a learning curve to being a TV guy?
I think there was a learning curve. Like, when I first went in there, I'm like, shoot, I never wanted to do it. I wanted to coach. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hell, I'll go do this. I was a disaster on Monday Night Football with whatever. I'm watching the game like, oh yeah, who's going to tee me up here? Am I like, I don't want to, end up, do the play-by-play or whatever. Yeah. Like, Jim Nance does a phenomenal job that way. He lets Tony Romo go, and I'm like, God, and Romo's a zillion times better than me. But it was like, God, that would have been nice. Yeah. He's maybe not a zillion, maybe a billion times. But it was, and it was funny because I'm like, well, do I say something? Because I'm used to being the lead guy. Like, when they come in, it's, a press conference, the mics are there, and I'm the guy speaking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So over there, it's like, okay, sit back. Okay, sit back. I missed an opportunity. I screwed up.
Is it my go?
I'm not great with the language anyway. Let's face it. I wasn't exactly a Phi Beta Kappa. That was my mother. But it's just one of those deals, and it did take a little time. I'm much more comfortable now doing it.
Well, you were also a movie star. I mean, we can't forget about
I
this.
would
That's
say,
my boy.
absolutely. Yeah.
That's my boy. Was that easier than TV?
Wait, you're an actor? I didn't know you were
an
a movie.
actor, please.
A Patriot fanatic.
I was. I think I dominated that movie when I was in there. It was. They had another guy, Adam Sandler?
Yep. Yeah,
he
Adam
was
Sandler.
like the co-star, but
He's a
I thought,
musician. Yeah, he's a musician.
I thought I was the guy that carried that show.
Oh yeah, it was you and Dan Patrick the whole movie. Really, that.
Yeah. But that was so funny. I get a call from Adam Sandler, and he's like, hey, Rex, is Adam Sandler? Like, yeah, right, Flick. Hey, that ain't no
How'd
Adam
this
Sandler.
fucking guy get my number?
You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, he calls back. No, it is. I'm like, because would you be interested in a movie? Oh, let me think about it. Yeah, hell yeah, let's do this. So that was a cool thing.
Did you take acting classes, or you just wanted a
No,
natural?
no.
Let's go.
Dude, let's just go. And what got me, though, is, they gave me the script, and so I studied my lines. Like, I wasn't going to be the guy that was going to screw the thing up,
Your
right?
first time, you can't be that guy.
No, and so I'm doing it. I'm just stiff, robotic. You could see that I'm trying to remember the lines. But the funny thing is, Adam Sandler's just letting it rip. I'm like, whoa, you're supposed to say this.
That's not on
You know what I mean? That's not the way this goes. It was fun as heck, and
Oh, look at that with heck right there. You just did it.
dude, I got to, man. I can't.
No, but I'm saying that's
trained now.
natural.
Yeah,
That's a
now
natural reaction for you.
I can't do what I used to do with coaching.
If you get back into coaching,
You can do it,
think
Oh, I'm going right back to him. F-bombs, all that stuff. Let's let it rip.
When you're watching a game, do you still call plays in your head or think about how you would stop certain things that are going on in the game?
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
It's just that part of it never leaves you. And, some of these defenses that are played today, I'm like, this is a joke. Like, who
do
the
that with
hell
punters
is
and
calling
kickers, by
these
the way.
things?
Yeah, I do that with
Can you
kickers
name
and
names?
punters.
Do you name
Yeah.
names?
Yeah, almost every team in the league. Like, it's like nobody's playing defense anymore. And
Butler.
but it's like I watch it, and like New England. The thing I respect and admire about Belichick is, look, every game's different. It's its own game. You're going to attack people a certain way.
Yep.
His teams are multiple. They do different things. And by the way, brains still help you win. You want tough, smart guys, and you win with those guys. And if you're going to I always love this one. Well, we're going to play fast on defense.
Yeah,
But in other words, you're not going to coach. You're going to sit back, and I'm going to put up my 4 defenses and just yell on the field. Like, I love these colleges watching them. Guy, I'm coaching his butt off. It's like, you're coaching your butt off. You're yelling and screaming and have no clue. You're not getting your guys in position where they can be successful. And it's just like, people, we're gonna play fast. We'll do that to the Patriots. You want to play fast? Watch how fast their offense goes through you. And these last 2 weeks were a great example of it.
Yep.
It's like, really? Oh, you're gonna play these defenses? Oh, I was just like, stop. And because I picked
Chargers?
both teams. The Chargers, my son coaches there, so I picked them and I picked the Chiefs. I'm like, surely to God they'll know how to play them and all that. And by halftime, I'm like, this is a joke.
Do you send your son a text at halftime like, hey, we need to make it?
Hey, what the fuck we do? We're not just
Well,
playing
he's
fast
coaching
here.
on offense,
Oh, yes, okay.
and so it was
Still, either way.
like, yeah, it was, and I predicted an all-LA Super Bowl, so I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good. The Chargers come in, the Patriots. We can say what we want. This is the greatest coaching job in Bill Belichick's career because that team,
I wanted to
is
talk about
not
that.
even close to the team that I had to go.
I want to talk
against.
about that. Whenever you became a head coach, both times in the AFC East, I mean, you're being thrown into a buzzsaw here. The greatest dynasty in the history of the NFL. Probably won't see this for a long, long, long time. You went in there, though, with I'm not kissing the ring, awesome shit, right? What you have to tell your team, you have to sell it. If you were to do you think if you go back in time, you would have tried to get a head coaching job outside of the Patriots division and maybe because it's one of those things where they had it's a stranglehold right now, not on just AFC East, but the entire NFL. Do you think, I want to be a head coach again? Do you want to be a coordinator? What is the future or is the media?
Well, no, I mean, you would take a head coaching job anywhere. So if you had to go coach in Alaska and I had to show up naked to coach, I'd do it. It wouldn't be good for the league, but I would do it.
disagree.
You know,
You look
I
good, by
would
the way.
absolutely do it. But that's it. I love the game. I want to be. I love being the head coach. But as a defensive coordinator, it was great. But you had half the roster that you dealt with. But as a head coach, man, that's your football team out there. And when you talk about when I went to the Jets, it was like, hey, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show the whole league what they've been missing for all these years that they passed me over. And so that was like, hell, I'm here and I'm not afraid of you, and I'm still not afraid. I'd walk in there with a high school team, and still think I could kick somebody's butt.
Hey, early in your Jets career with Sanchez there, you guys put together some incredible runs, like team football, though.
You
That
got
was like
Chicago
team.
for like a 6th-round trade.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I know we suspended for 6 weeks immediately. So that was a hell of a trade. But
I just
that
remember
was a good move. We're like, oh, shoot.
As a Steelers
Here's
guy, I
the
remember on
good
Hard
news.
Knocks you being, we got this guy for a 6th-rounder.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
was like, and then,
He's the best player on our field. On the
He's-
field.
he's unbelievable.
He was so good, so talented. And then we had Braylon Edwards that, that ended up punching LeBron's friend or something like that. So got him, at the right price. So I want to encourage other guys to, beat up like Legends friends or something. But really, it was, but they're good dudes, man. And they played hard. And that was the thing. I remember one year we also had Plexico Burris coming off. And so I had those 3 guys. So every Thursday I'd meet with those 3. And we go and we have a little ice cream social and all that, and we just shoot the.
That's awesome.
Did you learn anything?
For about I learned so much. We learned a lot about each other, and all 4 of us would agree that we're all screwed up. But I enjoy those guys, man. They would do anything for me, and vice versa.
Well, I think we heard this in Detroit earlier this year, is that Patricia lost the locker room. And then you hear this, lost the locker room. That normally means that the OGs aren't fucking with the coach anymore. That's normally what it means. The locker room, the OGs are kind of done with the coach. There's either coach hates the OGs, or that's kind of how the locker room gets lost. Your teams, it was never like that. Everybody was ready to go to war for Rex Ryan. Just like Chuck Pagano, right? Chuck, you will never hear a player from the Colts that were like, I didn't like Chuck. Like, we were ready to go for Chuck. We wish we won more for him. That's like probably the ultimate compliment, right? As a coach, is that your players want to run through a wall for you?
Yeah, well, that's it. And you know what? As you know, it's because you establish a relationship and you care. You're genuine about caring for those guys. And that was it. And I cared for every one of my players. Look, there are sometimes I hated them, but I hate my son sometimes. So it's, and they'll make mistakes. Nobody's perfect by any stretch, and certainly not me. But it was something that these are special guys that play this game, and to me, it's look, football's not for everybody. All these sissies are putting their kids in different sports. That's on them. And you know what? Their kids are going to be punks anyway. So to me, that's what it's about. And I'm not going to have my kid play. Yeah, of course you're not. We don't want your kid playing anyway.
Bad for the game if your kid plays.
Flag football. Look, it ain't for everybody, but the guys that do play the game, they're mighty men, and I love them.
All right, wrapping this up. You won on ESPN, where you work, on a morning show, okay? Right after a situation happened in a Chicago Bear football game. And you say, basically, in other words, fuck them to Cody Parkey. And that caused quite a scene in the brand community here for
Yeah, I
Kickers and
understand.
I was asked by 2,000 people.
You're a tough guy too, so I don't want to fight you.
No, but hold on, no.
But I got this, Mike.
No, but I was getting I got like 2,000 tweets like, yo, did you hear what Rex Ryan said about Cody Parkey this morning? And I watched it, and I was like, man, that guy's got literally no soul in there. I was like, how can I even feel bad for the kid? But he has a job to do, is what you were basically implying.
Absolutely. It's a 40-yard field goal.
NFL.
No, everybody works their butt off. How about the corner that had to play man coverage all day long? How about this guy, that guy, the coach that put the game plan together? You put your team in a situation to win those games. Look, we had a kicker, folk hero. When
Literally.
We beat
it was like a 35-yarder on the right hash.
But still, he got it done. And it was great because it was dead silent in the stadium, and he nails it, and you hear him going, yes, him and me, yes. Just beat Peyton Manning.
Hey, we called a timeout. It was
oh, my God, that was by the grace of God. We're
dumbest thing we've ever done.
Thank you very much, because now I'm going to throw the ball to Braylon
Edwards on the corner
situation, which we didn't have called at the time. But it was so funny because when you bring it up, it's like when we got that, I'm like,
you should have seen what we were doing on the sideline.
You're kidding me.
Me, Vinatieri, I think Peyton,
God.
everybody was like, yo, what the fuck are we doing? Because it would have been a 50, I think it would have been like a 53 or something like that.
And so now your plays job, I'm like, guys, they think we're just going to run the ball here. Well, I got Braylon one-on-one over here.
Son of a bitch!
And I look at Sanchez. What do you think? He goes, oh yeah. I'm like, give it to him. Let's go. I don't care what the play. I write Z cross, but throw the ball to Braylon. That was the technical terms we used. And he makes a great catch. Sanchez puts it on him, and then the rest is history. But, yeah, that was – Jim Caldwell's a dang good coach, but I was like, thank you, Jim.
There was a time management guy on the staff at that time. I think he was the one that told Jim to give the timeout. That guy
Thank you.
I won't put that guy's name out there because he's probably looking for work still at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he got fucking buried in the locker room afterwards.
Oh, man, I bet.
Because we had a lot of older guys on the team that were like...
Yeah, the team's ready to win.
Yes.
Like, you have anytime, here's the thing. If Peyton Manning's your quarterback... You're going to win. I mean, this just in, you're going to win. And that's what's so funny where you look at all these teams and this guy's a great coach. This dude's got Peyton Manning. This dude's got Aaron Rodgers. Hey, go out there and win with Geno Smith as a rookie, and you tell me what's going on.
Rex, we got to get you on the driving range here. So thankful for you coming. You're awesome on TV.
Oh, my pleasure,
I'm
guys.
very
That's a
thankful for you
pleasure.
coming here, and I can't wait to see you coach again because the NFL needs you up there, man. I honestly believe that.
You see what they're paying these dudes now?
Fuck.
Like, oh, do you want to coach again? Yeah. Hell yeah, I do.
Gruden just banked $100 million.
$100 million, 10-year deal. You know, so you're sitting back, it's guaranteed. It's like, you know what? We lost. We'll get him next time.
I'll tell you what, man.
Oh, my goodness.
He said the Khalil Mack $90 million is a lot of money, like a month after signing that $100 million deal. It's like zero self-awareness from the incredibly wealthy fucking guy that just came out of the booth.
And Gruden, by the way, this dude can rush the passer. You, not so much. So, like, oh, my God.
Rex, thank you so much. You're the man.
Oh, my pleasure,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
The fact that he saved himself by saying heck in like darn there, I think he said, incredible move by him.
Well, and I'm so used to, like, Hard Knocks was what made him so popular, and he got so popular because he said fuck like every other word. So I was very, very impressed that he's been trained to just basically eliminate that from his vocabulary.
His brain putting the brakes on that is incredible because there's an obstacle course happening in your head whenever you're a known swearer and then you have to go on something, which, by the way,
you're familiar with it.
WWE, we're about to just dive into that with my new boss, Michael Cole. But before we get there, huge shout out to Rex Ryan, by the way.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He hung out for like 2 hours, too. Didn't want to leave, he said.
Yep.
Good guy. I hope he gets back into coaching. The game needs him. Or I hope he gets on TV more because the world needs more of Rex Ryan. I love that Dollar Shave Club has everything I need to look, feel, and smell my best. What I love even more is the fact that I never have to go to a store. That's because, one, DSC. You down with DSC?
Yeah, you know me.
DSC delivers everything I need right to my door. And two, they keep me fully stocked on what I use so I don't run out. Here's how it works. Dollar Shave Club has everything you need to get ready no matter what you're getting ready for. They have you covered from head to toe for your hair, your skin, your face, you name it, they have it. And they have this new program where they automatically keep you stocked up on the products you use. You determine what you want and when you want it, and it shows up right at your door from once a month to once every 6 months, Ty.
That's not a bad deal.
Well, that's what I do. I have DSC send me toothpaste like every month and a half because I use a lot of it. They keep me stocked. I never have to leave. Go into my bathroom, bing, bang, boom, it's already there. Thank you so much to my friends at DSC for looking out for me.
Hell of a business model.
Hell of a business model.
You know?
I was trying to find a couple syllables there to get to me because DSC.
Well, and I didn't know if you were going to spell it or not.
Yeah, because then it's just ME, so I'm still missing one there. You get it. DSC takes care of me. And right now, they've got a bunch of starter sets you can try for just $5, like their oral care kit. After that, the restock box ships regular size products at regular price. So what are you waiting for? Get your starter set for just $5 right now at dollarshaveclub.com/America. That's dollarshaveclub.com/America. Shout out to Dollar Shave Club. Shout out to America, too. Shout out to a lot of things. Shout out to Michael Cole for this interview we're about to do with him. It was a good one. Joining us now is a man who's my boss, a man who's covered cults in Texas. He's covered political campaigns, and now every single Monday night for the last 25 years, he's the esteemed voice of the WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, the handsome, clever, witty Michael Cole. Michael Cole.
That may have been the best introduction I've ever received.
Well, see, that's what I try to do. You know, I'm a put somebody over type of guy. I like everybody to look good, Mr. Cole. I love it.
So now, so first off, the fact that you even have me on this podcast is Oh, hang on a second. You know what's going off right now? Hang on, guys.
I'm excited to hear it.
That's the alarm that I set to call you all to be on this podcast today.
See, but you were on time. We were late. Here we are. I am so thankful you came on here. I've been asking you to come on my show literally since we started working together. You said, as soon as you sign a contract, I'll come on the show. That happened. Here you are. You're a man of your word.
So, listen, I don't do this often, very rarely indeed. If you go back over my years of doing WWE, I rarely do interviews. That's the first thing. The second thing is I told you I would do this for you, so I'm doing it for you. And thirdly, and most importantly, since you stole my thunder a few weeks back and told the world that you had signed with WWE, which you don't understand, when you told everyone you had signed with us, which, by the way, you hadn't inked any contract, my phone blew up. It was like a disaster. And it was like on a Monday, like for Monday Night Raw. Or we were taping Raw for Christmas or something. And my phone went insane. So I had to call you up and say, what are you doing? You're not even signed with the company yet.
Well, and I told you I had a throwaway line in one of my podcasts. I didn't even think it was that big of a deal. I was going into Lambeau to call color commentate a game for the NFL for the first time. And I said also, the WWE has officially offered me a multi-year deal too. Everything's like going up and up for me. And then that obviously was heard by some people, which I did not expect. And then literally everything I do is headline news. I didn't know we were at that point, and it started happening. And I apologize for the battle you had to go through over there with the PR squad.
Well, nonetheless, as of February 1st, Pat McAfee is officially a contributor with WWE.
Yeah. Look at me, man. Look at me.
So this is actually it was an incredible 2018, if you remember, Pat. I mean, you and I met on a telephone call, and a few weeks later, you were doing an NXT takeover, and for some reason, I still can't figure out today, but for some reason, you impressed people. And you started doing a few more months of stuff for us, and the next thing you know, you're now a regular contributor to WWE, and the 2019 is going to be incredible, and I can't wait. I mean, I'm really excited to have you a part of our team, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for us.
Well, I am so thankful for you. Whenever I was in the NFL and leaving the NFL, nobody would put me on their network. Nobody would put me on TV. So whenever I got a call from you one day, it was before WrestleMania, I got a call and I answered. It was a random number. I answer it and I go, hello, I have no clue what it is. And is this Pat? Yeah. This is Michael Cole. And I was like, fucking Michael, get the fuck out of here. Michael Cole calling me right now. And it was he was like, no, for real. How did that all happen? Were you a big time follower of mine on Twitter? You seem like my demographic right in there.
First off, the fact that Pat, listen, I don't use social media. I follow it somewhat every once in a while. I'll be honest with you. I knew Pat McAfee from the NFL. I'm a big NFL fan. Huge New York Jets fan. Had season tickets for years and years and years with my dad. So I follow football regularly. And I'd always been intrigued by Pat McAfee. Some of the positive and negative things in your life over the years. It was always this, cool thing. But obviously we never knew each other. And then you just happened to come to a live event for NXT and do a little bit of a thing with Adam Cole, and people reported back to me, and they said, oh, my God, this guy is entertaining. He's a hoot. He loves the business. I sat down with Triple H, Paul Levesque, who obviously NXT is his brainchild, and he said, what do you think of Pat? We're looking to do something different with our kickoff shows. And I said, damn, let's give him a try. And we threw you on air not knowing what to expect. I thought we were going to get kicked off TV. But it went great, and here we are today. And the future's bright, and it's not just going to be kickoff shows anymore for you. You've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe, I hope.
Well, I am very thankful and excited for that. I have been a WWE fan my entire life. Michael Cole is a constant with the WWE for the last 2.5 decades. Was your plan always to be the voice of the WWE? We were doing some research on you. Mm-hmm. You covered the Waco cult thing in Texas for 51 days with CBS. You were on a political campaign trail. You went to Syracuse. How did you end up with the WWE? Like, I'm very interested because now you got me a job. You've taken care of a lot of people. You're a good man with the WWE. It seems as if though you didn't know that was going to be your life. Am I correct with that?
No, not at all. So listen, WWE or WWF back in the day has always been a part of my life. I mean, as a young kid growing up, my grandmother used to watch, so I watched with her. Got away from it in high school, went to college, got back into it because when I was in college, WrestleMania was just beginning, and me and my buddies would go, watch it on closed circuit in theaters in Syracuse. And one of the guys that was a couple of years ahead of me in my class, Craig DeGeorge, did some work with WWF. So we used to go backstage and hang out with him a little bit. So it had always been part of my life, but it was never in a million years did I ever think I was going to be working here. My dream was A, to be a sportscaster, which is the reason I went to Syracuse. B, once I got out of school and got the news bug, was always to be, the next evening news guy. That was my goal, and I was setting my career up in radio to get there. And what had happened was, by the mid '90s, I had covered just about every major news story on the planet. I was a fireman for CBS News. They sent me around the world to all these major stories. But I was doing radio, and I realized if I was going to be successful in media and make money, which obviously is the goal, having a family, was I had to get some television experience. So I was working in New York at the time, and I was really good friends with Todd Pettengill, who used to work with WWE, who's now a big-time DJ in New York City. And Todd basically said, hey, come in for an audition. Went in for an audition, figured, what the hell, let me get 1 or 2 years of television experience so I can have that on my resume reel. And then I'll go back into the news world. Well, 22 years later, I'm still here. So there you go.
You told me, you said once you get in with the WWE, it's hard to leave because it's so incredible. Is that kind of how you covered the world with in your news life, but now you're in WWE, which is literally all around the world. The things and places you've seen and been are next level. Have you learned just like to appreciate and love everything that is the WWE, or is it kind of something you get thrown into deep end and just kind of have to figure out?
Well, listen, Pat, the big thing is that the thing that I like about the WWE compared to working in news or whatnot is even though I try much now, is the fact that in WWE you can actually schedule your life. You can actually look at a calendar and say, hey, over the next 6 months, I'm going to be in these different places so I can actually plan time off with my family, do a vacation, whatever the case may be. Now, you can always do that because if a disaster happens, say the Waco cult standoff, you go there one day and the next thing you know, 51 days later, you're still there. So it was hard to plan things in that part of my life. Doing a presidential campaign, same thing, out on the road for 18 straight months with a candidate, and so it was really difficult to actually have a life. And now in WWE, I was able to do that. So with that being said, WWE is the most wonderful company I've ever worked for. They have given me so many opportunities. I've grown up in this company. All you got to do is go back and look at the WWE Network and see how young I actually used to be. And that's the worst thing about the network, by the way, is you can actually go back and see, hey, I was actually in shape and young at one point in my life. But no, it's one of these things where I fell in love with it. And the company was really good to me and allowed me to be more than just a television announcer. It allowed me to expand my background. And I ran the website at one point in my career, and I worked on live event promotion at one point in my career, and now I'm in charge of all of our on-air talent. And it's just, they allow me to do a lot of different things and really have grown within the company. And, I owe my career and a lot of what I've accomplished to WWE, to Vince McMahon and Triple H and Kevin Dunn and, Stephanie McMahon and all of them.
I've said this numerous times. I always wanted to be a part of the WWE. And then when you talk to people who maybe had a quick run or something like that, they're like, the WWE is the grandest stage of the month at WrestleMania, but the biggest you could platform possible in this business. Shrewd business people, though. Shrewd business people. That's what they always said. So I expected whenever I got invited to do the NXT TakeOver pre-show and go in there, I assumed everybody was going to be a bunch of assholes. Complete opposite. Me and Foxy have got a chance to meet everybody. It's a family in there. It is really, everybody's nice. They've been so hospitable. Yep. I think that is something not enough people know. A, they don't know that Michael Cole is a hero behind the scenes. But B, the people at the WWE, it really is like a family in there. And I assume that is a correct assumption by Foxy and I?
Well, it is. I mean, obviously, it started out as a family business. I mean, when I started in the company in the late 90s, it was a family business. It wasn't even publicly traded on Wall Street. And now it's grown into this multi-billion-dollar global conglomerate that's, a publicly traded company. But it's still the thing. Vince McMahon is still hands-on in every single thing that we do. And his family, Stephanie, Triple H, Shane, are very hands-on in everything that we do. So despite the fact that we're this huge company, we're still small, and we're still a mom-and-pop company in many ways because the family is still running things, and they make you feel like a family here, which is the beauty of it. Now, listen, it isn't always roses. No company is. And this is a very, very hard life. It's a very difficult life. We don't have an off season. We work 52 weeks a year. We're doing a tremendous amount of programming. Things are going to get even more difficult when we go to Fox starting this fall. But that's the challenges, and it's what you make of it and how much you want to put into this place. I think I told you, Pat, and I've always told everybody that's ever come to work for this company, when you come to WWE, in order to make this what you want it to be, you have to give 100% of yourself, because that's what the company demands, and that's what the owners of the company demand. And you have to give everything you have. If you come into this place and try to half-ass it, it's not going to work. It won't work. You have to live this and breathe this. And if you're willing to do that, the sky is the limit here. You can have an incredible career. You can take care of your family, and you can really do well, but you've got to put everything you have into it.
So many superstars, and I think this was during the Raw 25, where Triple H, 25th year anniversary, Triple H did a little mono shot video where he said Vince McMahon they're comparing Vince McMahon to other people, I think like Barnum and Bailey's and maybe even some other people. But Vince McMahon has literally created these characters, and the WWE creates these characters, makes them superstars. Then they go on to do incredible things. They're viewed as like superheroes almost. The Rock is one of these people. He's on top of the world right now. Highest grossing actor on earth. Was just Dwayne Johnson at one point with $7 in his pocket before he comes into the WWE, becomes the biggest star on earth. The list goes on and on. Stone Cold Steve Austin, all these guys and girls make a living post the WWE. Is it fun being a part of the creation process of these characters and seeing how the whole thing goes? Is that a part of the job that you love, or is it something that's just a part of the whole business? You get it.
Oh, I love it, Pat. And to see the growth of these characters and these individuals, to me, is absolutely incredible. Because what Vince and the creative team does is they give them a template, and then they say, listen, go out and paint your masterpiece. And the most successful people in the history of the business are themselves turned up a notch. Stone Cold Steve Austin is Steve Austin with the volume turned sky high. The same thing with The Rock. I mean, I always tell people when I had my mini heel run back with a WrestleMania match a number of years ago, that was Michael Cole turned up a notch. That sarcastic little prick who, you know me now, Pat, Foxy knows me, you guys know who I am. That really is me in real life. That's the type of person I am. Now, am I as mean-spirited and so on and so forth as that guy was? No. But you take your character, you turn it up in the notch. And the people that are able to do that are able to feel that character, are the ones who are going to be successful in this company. To be here and see a guy like a John Cena come in as this young, raw talent and turn himself into the greatest, in my opinion, of all time, and to be there for that entire ride, and to be friends with John and see that happen and see how that process worked. It was absolutely incredible to be here when The Rock first started and to see that metamorphosis into superstar. Absolutely incredible to see guys like Shawn Michaels, who were here before obviously I got here. but then had issues, left, came back, and to see them when they come back and become this whole new person is absolutely incredible to me. And that's the stuff, those are the human interest stories that I love about this business, to see the creation of those characters and the creation of those human beings and the growth and maturity of them, to see where they come from then to today.
I think it's a beautiful thing that's not talked about enough. John Cena only makes bangers, by the way. Ferdinand made me cry. That's a cool movie. It's just starting to heat up. Conversation's getting good. We're starting to learn so many things we never thought we'd learn before. Ain't that right, Ty?
Yeah, and this has been great so far.
I'm
ready for the back half.
I was about to say, wait till you see how we close this thing out. It gets good. And the room wants to know. The room wants to know is played. It's good. We dive deep into old Michael Cole. Right now, it's time to dive deep into your love. Ooh. Because by now, most of us have started racking our brains about what Valentine's gift is truly going to make her day special. With 1-800-Flowers.com, it's really not that complicated. Roses from 1-800-Flowers are a no-brainer. Right now, when you order early, which is what you're doing, you can say forever that you prioritize Valentine's Day and got it done early because of how much you love your lady. When you order early, which is what you're doing right now, 1-800-Flowers has amazing deals on vibrant and romantic Valentine's rose bouquets, arrangements, and more, starting at just $29.99. There are so many unbelievable deals from 1-800-Flowers, but you have to hurry. Roses from 1-800-Flowers are picked at their peak and shipped overnight to ensure freshness and her amazement. Not to forget, gorgeous Valentine's bouquets and arrangements starting at $29.99 is an amazing deal, but it won't last long. Bouquet prices will be going up soon, so take advantage today. Pick your delivery date and let 1-800-Flowers handle the rest. When it comes to Valentine's, I don't settle for anything less than my rose authority, 1-800-Flowers.com. To order Valentine's bouquets, arrangements, and more starting at $29.99, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code McAfee. Order today and save at 1-800-Flowers.com, code McAfee. Valentine's Day is an effort holiday. Remember that. Remember that. Put a smile on the loved one's face. Make her feel good. Say, hey, my man's a good man. He pre-ordered today from 1-800-Flowers.com and got it for $29.99. It showed up at the door on Valentine's Day, which is a week away. You look like a hero. Thank you very much to 1-800-Flowers.com. Radio icon, code McAfee, for making everybody look like a hero, a gentleman. Chivalry is not dead. With 1-800-Flowers.com, radio icon, code McAfee. Now let's get back to Mr. Michael Cole, baby. You did something that changed the game completely. I guess Renee did it with her incredible hard work, passion, and talent. But putting a female on the commentating table for Monday Night Raw was the first here recently. And you, Renee, and Corey are a hell of a team there on Monday Night Raw. Talk about that whole process and how easy it was because of how talented Renee is.
Well, Pat, one of the things, I've been very proud in my career. And one of the things, there are two things. People can say what they want about me, and there are a lot of Michael Cole detractors out there. There are a lot of Michael Cole haters. And listen, be vocal, be who you are. Don't care. I've been here for 22 years for a reason, because I believe I'm good at what I do.
You are.
The two things that I've always taken pride in what I do in this company is, number one, my work ethic. Nobody can take my work ethic away from me. I try to be the hardest working guy in the company. That is what I strive for. And when I leave and when I retire, I want people to. The one thing I want them to say about me is, man, that guy could work. Number one. Number two, I've always taken pride in my career of having the ability to work with any single person that was put out there with me, and to be able to help them grow as broadcasters, whether it be Taz, who was an ECW guy before he came here, and I helped work with him and helped make a pretty damn good team on SmackDown, 15, 20 years ago, and now he's doing morning sports radio in New York. He's doing awesome in his career, and I'm so happy for him. I'm so glad he got to that point. But I was able to work with him. JBL, never a broadcaster before, came into the booth, and I believe came one of the best broadcasters ever when he had his run a decade ago. Being able to, Jonathan Coachman, who I brought to WWE initially his first time around, found him, brought him in. So these are guys that I love because I was able to work with them. Corey Graves, another example. Hunter and I thought that Corey had something when he couldn't be a wrestler anymore. Threw him in the booth. Corey worked his ass off for 2 years to get to the point where he is today. Renee, man, most talented person that I've ever worked with. She has a unique ability to be likable. People like Renee. They relate to Renee. She's believable, and she's got a great sense of humor. And she's that cross between a comedian / real sports journalist / wrestling announcer. Tremendous work ethic, and it was just time. It was time to throw her out there, give her the opportunity. And now the fact that Renee and Corey are really close friends, I get along with both of them. It has just this unique chemistry that's never been done before. I mean, think about it. This has never been done before. Forget about sports entertainment, but there's never been a regular team of 2 guys and a girl on anything like this ever. So it's a pretty cool deal, and it's pretty unique to be a part of that.
Well, I think you gave so many people opportunities. You ran through that list of people you made their lives better. You obviously want to leave the
First, Pat, one thing I do want to say is I don't look at it that way. I don't believe I made anybody's life better. What I did was I gave them a chance, and these guys, all of them, from Taz to JBL to Renee to Corey to there's countless others, all I did was give them an opportunity to say, hey, do you think you can do this? All of these people, though, went out there and worked their rear ends off to learn how to be a commentator, which you know, Pat, because you're learning, is not an easy thing to do. And they had to – I can't – I don't have a magic wand and I can say, you're a great commentator. It doesn't happen that way. I can say, hey, here's your platform. Go out there and learn how to do it. I can try to coach them, but they have to make this. And all of those people that have been so successful here – is because of their work ethic. Nothing that I did. I just want to be clear about that.
Okay, you definitely helped. I mean, let's not get crazy. Speaking of coaching, whenever I got asked to call a football game, I knew nobody in the field. Except for Michael Cole. So I sent him a text the night before because I was given 0 direction by Fox. I was given 0 direction by my agents. I was just basically told that I'm calling a game. So I sent a text to Michael Cole the night before. I was like, hey, man, you busy right now? And he's like, no, why? And I was like, well, I don't want to bother you or whatever. I was like,
no, actually, no. You said it wrong. You sent a text and asked me if I was busy, and what the answer, how I actually responded was, it simply said, what? Forget the niceties. None of that stuff. I just said, what?
Well, and then I said I didn't want to bother you, I think. And then I told you, I said, I'm getting thrown into a booth tomorrow for a football game. What do they want from me? And you sent me back this 2-scroller, basically, that just, I had so much confidence going in there. I will never be able to thank you enough for that, and also the opportunities that you're giving me with WWE, because it was, and I'll say this, I think you're the greatest play-by-play guy on earth, and I don't think you get any credit for it. You have to deal with a lot. I mean, it's a circus happening. There's drama, there's comedy, there's action, there's storylines that are interesting and hard to believe, and you are just a smooth, rhythmic, you have emotion. It's just, you are the top guy. So when you sent me this message, I was like, oh, I'm going to go fucking just crush in there. I was very thankful for it.
Well, Pat, and the thing is, and I remember the advice I gave you, and it's the reason that we hired you. Be yourself. Mm-hmm. That's it. We hired you because of who you are. I didn't think that you should have gone into the booth and tried to be John Madden or tried to be, Troy Aikman or Tony Romo. You had to be Pat McAfee. You had to bring that sense of humor. Listen, you're a football player. You know the game. You were, one of the greatest punters in history. You know the game. But what makes you stand out? What makes you unique? And it's you. It's who you are. It's how entertaining you are. So that's why they want you in the booth, not because they want to try to be some football announcer. You're going to be your most unique guy, and that's why we hired you. And I told you from day one, and I know that Triple H has said the same thing to you. We don't want Pat McAfee to try to be a wrestling announcer. That's not why we hired you. That's why you're not exclusive to us. That's why Pat McAfee is going to be doing a lot of other things in the world here in the next number of months, including working with WWE, because we want Pat McAfee. That's what we want. I don't want you to try to be Gorilla Monsoon or Jim Ross or Jerry the King Lawler or Corey Graves or anybody else. I want you to be Pat McAfee. That's what I want.
I appreciate you so much. And I was going to, my final question before the room has some questions for you. A lot of big fans of yours in here, especially with what you've done with me and Foxy, but also wrestling fans. Triple H, seeing him hands-on with every decision as a guy who was such a big fan of his growing up has been awesome to see. And now you've gotten a chance to really experience it from him being performer, entertainer. Now he's full business mogul. I mean, he's a business guy, not only with NXT, but also with what he's doing with WWE. How is, and you as well, being in a business decisions, how has that transition been for Triple H? Do you think it's, because he's excelling, it seems, as a business person, is he going to be an even better like business person than he was wrestler? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. Listen, he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the all-time greats, but he has this incredible mind for what we do. It's just, it's just, he knows. I mean, obviously he's learned a ton. Probably everything he's ever learned came from Vince. And now Hunter's been able to take that experience that he's learned from working with Vince, and now he has put his own spin on it. And he's taken brands like NXT and made them different, different than anything we've ever experienced at the WWE level. And that's awesome, and he's incredible. He's an incredible guy to work for. And I've learned so much about the business from him. It's one thing to be a commentator. It's another thing to actually understand how the business works. And, thank God for guys like Hunter and Vince to actually explain to me and show me over the years how this business actually does operate.
Good handshake by Triple H, by the way. Good handshake. Every time I do it, I get I'm never intimidated by anybody in my life. Everybody shit's the same. But the first time I met Triple H and Vince, it was a wild moment. It was at WrestleMania. I was like 10 minutes into the thing. I assumed everybody was going to just hate me. And then I talked to Triple H, and he was like the nicest guy ever. And then Vince walks over in a incredible suit and goes, "Hey, how's it going?" and walks away. I was like, holy shit. What a
He had
couple
no idea who you were.
Yeah, he still does.
He still does.
Yeah, he still
You should have heard when I had to go to his office and explain to him why I was giving a contract to a guy named Pat McAfee. But no, listen, he and I'll never forget. Have you told the story of the day that Hunter called you and you thought somebody else was calling you? I said, "Hey, you're going to be getting a phone call, so stand by."
Yes.
And
I don't think I've ever told it. I thought Triple H's agent was going to call me because a couple agents wanted to sign me. So Michael Cole sends me a text. It's like, "Hey, Hunter and his agent," or something along Hunter's agent, something in that message from Michael Cole is like going to call you. So I'm at brunch with my lady, and I get a phone call from a number I don't know. So I think it's Hunter's agent calling me, like trying to talk to me, I answered. I go, "Hello." I was like one of those because I thought it was an agent. And I hear Pat, and I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "How's it going, man?" I'm like, "Wait a fucking, this is Triple H." I was like, "Sam," I had to put it on mute. I was like, "This is Triple H. I got to get up." I left the restaurant, went into the parking lot, and we had like a 10-minute conversation. I was like, "Yeah, I'll sign with them for sure, dude. If you think I should, yeah, anything you want, Triple H." And I did. It was a wild moment, though. I had to text Michael Cole. I was like, "Yo, Triple H just fucking called me." And he was like, "Yeah, so?" I was like, "What do you mean? This is a huge moment in my life. This guy just calling me. I'm on speakerphone with him." It's been really cool, man. Really, really cool. I'm very thankful. You're the nicest guy I've ever encountered. I think the opportunities you've afforded me and so many others is great. Now here's an opportunity.
Just don't screw up, Pat. Just do not screw up.
I mean, that's gonna happen. I stood up.
That's why. Well, listen. Did you tell the story of when we had our big conversation a couple of weeks ago at the Royal Rumble with me and Brian Pellegato from our digital team and Jeremy Borash, who works down at our NXT program, and we were meeting with Pat Foxy, was there, and we were talking about what we hope to get from you and what we're looking forward to and this and that, scheduling and everything else. And I looked at you, and you had this look in your eyes like, what is going on here? And I looked at Foxy and I said, Foxy, I need your phone number and email information.
It's a steel trap up here, though. I think you've learned that. If it goes in these ears, it's locked in. It's locked in. All right, so there's a couple guys in the room that want to ask you a question. Let's go to a beautiful segment called "The Room Wants to Know."
That's nice.
Thank you. Todd McComas, 21-year state police detective, would like to ask you a question.
Michael, you've spent your entire broadcasting commentating career traveling the globe with reporting on and hanging with some of just incredible historic personalities. I'm sure you got a huge vault of legendary road stories. You mind sharing one of your favorites with us?
There we go.
Oh, God almighty. I mean, there's so many, and there's so many that I can't talk about on
of course,
on the podcast either. Well, here's an interesting one. This is sort of an overall road story. We used to back when the company was Vince is going to hear this and make me pay him back all his money. But back when the company was private, before it was public, when they scrutinized everything. When it was private, you could pretty much do whatever you wanted. And whenever we did international tours, whenever we'd go out to bars and drink all night, I would pick up the tab every night for an entire tour, 10, 14 days, thousands and thousands of dollars. And I would go back and turn in the expenses. So Tony Kimmel, one of our, Tony, one of our famous ring announcers, don't let him know I used the word famous, but Tony started to coin it, the coal train. So whenever we went international, every time we were going to go, we had to go on the coal train. And that was sort of how that came about.
That's incredible. Just thinking of you returning all these receipts. You walking into the WWF office at the time after having like 5 Japanese receipts, like for $7,000 worth of drinking. I couldn't even fathom that moment. That's beautiful. Zito's been trying to buy a coffin on the Pat McAfee Inc. tab for like the last 2 months. I couldn't even fathom having thousands of dollars of drinks trying to get an expense. That's incredible. The next guy's from Pittsburgh, grew up friends with Elias, like in Elias's tight friendship group in Plumboro. He's an Italian. Take it easy on him, Nick. What do you got?
Michael, you have done it all in the WWE. You're the face of the WWE. You've been the face and voice of the video game series. You've been in the video game series as a playable character, albeit one of the worst ones in No Mercy. But my question is, you're the ultimate company guy. You've done so much. Is there anything they've asked you to do, either storyline or wise or not, that you've said no to?
Nope, never. I say that without a hesitation. I've never said no to Mr. McMahon and his company. And I'll tell you why. It's simple. The things that Mr. McMahon has done for his company, the things that he's put himself through with Stone Cold Steve Austin and getting his head shoved up the Big Show's backside and all the things that he has done, if the owner of this company, who's a billionaire and has created sports entertainment and what he's made it today, if he can do that, there ain't no reason Michael Cole can't. So I've done everything they asked me, including pretty much getting, I don't know if I'm going to say that word, but pretty much being Heidenreich, let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
In a backstage piece.
What does that mean?
At one point.
What does he do? What do he say?
Google it. Google Michael Cole and Heidenreich, Pat. You'll get a nice kick out of it.
Yeah, it's very similar to the scene in Dumb and Dumber when Lloyd gets trapped in the stall when Seabass comes walking in.
Oh.
And he has to take the shower afterward.
For the old school of us, it was very Deliverance-like.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I can't wait to look that up on the internet. So with what you just said about Vince willing to do anything, he's still getting slapped in the face and headbutted at his age now. Shane McMahon jumps off of everything. Do they do that so that they want to show like, hey, we're in this too? Is that kind of that's obviously got to be the mindset by the McMahon family?
Well, I think it's everything. I mean, Shane is just Shane. I mean, and I love Shane to death. I mean, he's just crazy.
He's insane. He's insane.
There's no other way to describe that because Shane's out there. But listen, you just look what Stephanie did on Raw this past Monday night with Becky Lynch. Look what Triple H did with Becky Lynch on SmackDown Live just last night. I mean, they're still doing it today. I mean, it's being able to put yourself in the positions. Triple H went and had a match with The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Kane, and tore his pec, and he's still doing it. So it's a love for the business. It's a love for the company. It's a love for what we do, and there's nothing better. We can complain as much as we want, but there is nothing better than to go out there when that red light goes on Monday night to perform and to make people smile. I mean, the highlights of my career were when I had a heel run for a couple of years and, really became the first time, and this is another first for Vince because this was his idea, the first time in history of wrestling that the lead guy, the play-by-play guy, the person who's supposed to be credible in the audience's eyes, was a bad guy, was a heel. The first time it's ever happened. To the point where we actually had a match at WrestleMania. Now, it was the worst match ever in WrestleMania history, but we still had a match at WrestleMania. So think about that. And so it's because of being able to go out there and a love for this, and I'd probably still be a heel today if Jerry Lawler didn't have a heart attack, but nonetheless, that's neither here nor there.
That happened live on air. That was a real moment that happened there. Dickhead bad guy Cole was supposed to be a bad guy, but whenever one of your closest friends almost dies, it's hard to be a bad guy.
It was an interesting night.
That had to be crazy. Next guy, Jeffrey Gorman, was in the media world for a long, long time. Handsome old man.
Mr. Cole, I know you've had a great journalistic career, and I'm going to mention three things, and I want to know where you were closest to injury or even death. David Koresh, the Waco incident, 51 days, covering the Civil War in Yugoslavia, or the WWE?
That's a great question. Sometimes I feel like I'm near that in WWE. No, listen, the funniest thing was, so it's not really funny. I mean, obviously being, stranded in Bosnia for 9 months on one of the tours we did there was pretty frightening, and wasn't sure whether we were getting out of there or not. But probably this is a funny story. When I was working at a local radio station in Houston, Texas, KTRH, there was a really bad flood, and one of the rivers was massive flooding, and oil caught on fire, caused this huge inferno on the river. And I paid some guy $25 to take me out in his little boat to get into the river to do reports for the radio station.
You're
and
an idiot.
A fiery river.
The engine died. And next thing we do, we ended up going toward the flames. We were like 55 feet away. I was doing live stuff on the radio. My wife was listening, thought I had bought it that day, and that probably was the closest that I've come to really feeling like I'm not getting out of this situation.
Wow. Oh my God. Incredible. Michael, I mean, you're a smart guy. I mean, all these things. You got into a river of fire. Like, what are you even? A river of flames.
Well, I wasn't thinking about it until you put it like that, but
it's much more legendary road story than covering somebody's bar tabs. I'll tell you that.
This next guy is a gem of a human. He lost 40-some pounds in 32 days. He's trying to gain them all back right now. He's from Chicago. He goes by the name of Zito.
Sir, Mr. Cole, is there any history behind you shortening your name to go Michael Cole? Or is there like a story behind that?
Oh, why'd you pick
Michael?
Michael?
It's simple. So my real name is Sean Coulthard, middle name Michael. So what I did was, when I first started in the company, I was told that there's only one Sean, and that was Shawn Michaels. So I'm like, that's fine. So I took my middle name, Michael, cut my last name in half, and made it Michael Cole. There you go.
Incredible name. Nice. Am I supposed to call everybody by their names, by the way? Because like Tom Pestock lived in my house for a month. Now he's Baron Corbin, and I strictly call him Baron. Like I don't know.
Yeah. So that's one of the rules of thumb that you learn is that they're known by their talent name, and there's a reason for that. Because when you start calling them by their real name all the time, you go on the air in the middle of a match, and I've done it before. You call them by their real name.
Yep.
So you want to, whenever you're around, you want to call them by their talent name.
Tom Pestock, end of days. Next question is coming from a Patriots fan. He's celebrating 6 rings here heavily. He hasn't taken the Tom Brady jersey off for 2 weeks. His name's Loud Ass Connor.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
How are you?
We talked about The Rock and John Cena. You know, Batista's another guy that jumps to the front for me. Is there a guy in the WWE now that you see on the big screen soon, or what?
Oh, good question.
You know, that's an interesting question because everybody's always asking, who's the next guy, who's the next big movie star. Listen, Roman Reigns is doing, or just finished doing a movie with Rock, his cousin, Fast and Furious spinoff. So, going to be interested to see how Roman does in that. Roman's a guy who I think could be that person. He's got those matinee idol looks, really well spoken, intelligent. Maybe he's the next guy.
Roman Reigns. Okay, I have a question for you, a wrestling question. Your thoughts. So, Roman Reigns, John Cena, basically everybody, Ronda Rousey, everybody that is super babyface ends up being hated while they're still babyface. Like, is that? Do you guys expect that? Do you notice that? Do you see that? What happens there? Or is the show going to go how the show's going to go?
Listen, Pat, it's a different world today than it was in this business 20, 25 years ago. You know, social media, the internet changed everything. You know, back in the late 90s during the Attitude Era, if you wanted spoilers, if you wanted to see how fans were reacting to different superstars, different talent that was coming up, there was 2 ways to get it. You either subscribed to a dirt sheet where you actually got a sheet of paper and read it, or you watched television once a week. That's how. So you were influenced by what you saw on your television. So the company, 25 years ago, it was a lot easier to influence your audience. Hey, this is a good guy. Cheer for this person. This is a bad guy. Cheer for this person. The internet and social media has changed all that because there is instant feedback on every single person, every story we do, every show we do. There's instant feedback from our fans. And also, there's instant reaction to what's happening. So, for instance, if somebody comes out during the break and they get booed, automatically, even if you're not watching on television, people around the world can understand, oh, my God, is Roman Reigns getting booed? They're saying he's getting booed during the commercial break. There's instant information that is available. I think that's the biggest thing. Social media has changed the game completely in our business. Number 2, I think as well, is that there is a perception, right, wrong, or indifferent, that a lot of our stars are handpicked to be stars. So when Ronda Rousey comes to WWE, she is a star because she was a star outside of her business. And the WWE is going to position her as a star. So people are either going to say, great, or they're going to boo her, believing that she hasn't earned the opportunity. Look at somebody like Becky, who spent 15 or 20 years of her life getting to this point where Ronda's only been here a year. So it's natural that the fans are going to feel for Becky. Roman Reigns, people believe that Roman was being shoved down their throat for years and years and years by the WWE machine, hence the reason they wanted to fight back. Now, that's important because I hate to use the word mark because they're not marks, they're fans. But the die-hard fans, the people who follow our industry, not only WWE, but everything else that's in it, those die-hard fans, that may be 15, 20% of our audience, they are the most vocal people on social media because they care. And that sometimes influences so many people because all you see on social media are people blasting. I'm going to use Roman for example, blasting Roman Reigns. I hate Roman Reigns. Boo Roman Reigns. They are a very vocal minority, but a very important minority that I believe the company is finally starting to listen to in a good way. So I think social media has really influenced the way that our bad guys / good guys are looked at today.
Well, I think that vocal minority, too, they're the ones that are buying the merch, buying the tickets. They're the ones that are, not all the tickets, not all the merch, but they all are very active. I think it's an interesting time in the WWE right now. It's cool watching you guys navigate the waters because that's what WWE has been able to do for so many years, is just dominate entertainment and adjust.
And you made a really good point there about it's an interesting time, because what's going on right now is you're almost serving in many ways two types of audiences. You're serving your diehard, hardcore wrestling audience. And, Triple H realized years ago that these people, many of them, seemed to be turned off by the core of our product. They didn't want to have as much entertainment. They wanted more in-ring wrestling. So what does he do? He goes out and forms NXT, which obviously has this unbelievable underground flavor to it. All you have to do is look at Halftime Heat. Guys, nearly 3 million people watched Halftime Heat.
Let's go, NXT. We were one of them. We had it on the TV here.
Incredible. So we're able to grab that niche audience with NXT, but you still have your SmackDown and Raws, which still has not only the hardcore audience, but also has the casual fan who will come and go, who will turn on Raw during WrestleMania season and may not go back to it until the summer when there's nothing else on TV, and then goes away during football season and comes back in January for the WrestleMania run. Those casual fans, you have to keep those fans happy as well, which is why the mainstream stars of John Cena, Ronda Rousey, Roman Reigns, people like that work. Rock comes back, Undertaker makes an appearance because of that casual audience. So it's a really tricky thing within our company to be able to please everyone and try not to alienate the hardcore fan who is with us 364 days a year.
It's a big hug. It's a big hug from the average fan, and then the diehard fan. We're just trying to make one big hug and put out one good show. I love NXT, by the way. I obviously have only.
Well, we're paying you to work there.
I know, but hey, it is the greatest sports entertainment on earth. The athleticism, what Ricochet and Johnny and Tommaso and the whole Undisputed Era, what those guys and girls, the girls in NXT are incredible too. What they can do in the ring and around is next level. It's like Cirque du Soleil, but it's a full-on wrestling. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Next question comes from Foxy. Foxy has a question for you.
Yep, Mr. Cole, for those that don't know, you are basically in Pat's ear directing the NXT pre-shows, correct?
Yeah. So basically what I do is part of my job is, besides being an announcer on Monday Night Raw, I'm also the senior director of on-air announce talent, which is a number of roles. Number one, it's to go out there and identify and find announcers that want to work for our company and that can fit into the culture of our company, i.e. Sam Roberts from the NXT pre-shows. The other thing I do is I work with talent at the NXT level and also at the other level. I don't do SmackDown, so one of the things I do is behind the scenes I'll help produce the announcers, help them get ready for the show. From an NXT standpoint, I'll work on the pre-show, and basically I'll sit down with talent during the afternoon, and I'll get their thoughts and their ideas and how they want to handle certain segments and certain interviews. And, Pat may have say, most of Pat's stuff's ad lib, which is hard because I never know what the hell he's going to say. Yeah. But I may have a specific direction. Hey, Pat, I need you to take this direction on this particular character. And then they go out and they do their thing. And so, I just try to steer them in the right direction. I never want to tell them what to say, how to say it, how to do it, because we've hired them for the uniqueness. I just want to steer them in the direction of what do we have to cover to be able to sell this match or to sell this show.
Okay, 2 questions then. Was there ever a moment with Pat where you were like, oh shit, like this is not going to work? And my follow-up question is, what was the exact moment where you're like, okay, Pat's an idiot, but this guy's going to fit into the family for sure? That's in his words, not my words. That's what Michael would say.
So the first part of that question, I never know when Pat's going to go off the rails because Pat is smart in the fact that he never gives me everything in rehearsal. So Pat will say, yeah, I'm going to do this, or yeah, I'm going to do that, or we'll do a certain thing a certain way in rehearsal, and then when it's live, it's completely different than we rehearsed. So
I want a natural pop. I want a natural pop.
Well, it's like when you jumped up on the desk the other day with to show your shorts off for some reason.
Well, they were referenced.
Yeah, but Evan, to answer your second question, I knew the first 5 minutes that Pat was on I believe your first takeover pre-show was Mania, right, Pat?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I believe that the first time I knew Pat was within 5 minutes of that first show. Because it was different. He was doing things, reading graphics, talking about stories, describing characters in a completely different way than I'd ever heard before. And then I realized why. It's because he wasn't and isn't a WWE guy.
Yep.
He wasn't using the WWE terminology, and he wasn't using, he was describing the characters and the superstars and the stories in a way that is unique to him, in a way that I'm sure you guys sit around and discuss when you're watching the show, and that's what I love, and that's what I don't want to change about Pat. As soon as Pat becomes a WWE guy, we lose all that uniqueness.
Hey, that means a lot, because whenever you started the show, we sold the matches, right? So the way it goes is, like, you get the matches like, hey, we're going to have this match sell, this match sell, this match sell. And this is my first time doing any WWE thing, so I know that these things happen, but I didn't know how they come about, right? Because there's always something happening, how the sausage is made behind it. So I think you guys, I don't know if you were worried or no, maybe not worried, just at the beginning a little apprehensive. So I only got to sell one match, right? So Sam sold like two, I think Charlie sold one, and then there was one match left that I got to sell it. And I went ham like it was an intro. I was like, here we go. And that's like one of my favorite things to do, is to sell the matches, just to see, because I hype up fourth downs. I mean, fourth downs are things that nobody likes. And all I do is make videos hyping it up. Like, I enjoy the hyping of things. I enjoy it a lot. Producer who went viral this last week for saying the word Jesus in front of Tim Tebow, with Tim Tebow's response.
Oh, God, that's awesome, by the
way. It was a magical moment. I lost my shit. I don't know if you saw, obviously. Ty Schmidt.
Michael, you've obviously called a ridiculous amount of incredible matches over the course of your career. Are there one or two that stick out as being like the most special or memorable to you?
Yeah, there's actually three. And the reason I say that is because I am asked this question a lot, and I've had to think about it over the years, because, I mean, we're calling, 8 matches a night, 52 weeks a year plus pay-per-views. I mean, over 22 years, that's probably 5,000 matches, right?
Jesus.
So there's three that stand out. Number one was the Mick Foley title win. Only because it was history. It was the night that Shivani went out and said, "Don't turn to Raw because Mick Foley wins their title," and everything changed at that point. Plus, I was new. I was green. Jim Ross was sick. He had a bout of Bell's palsy. He couldn't be there. I had to take over for a couple of months. I had no earthly idea what I was doing. No clue on even how to tell a story or call a wrestling match. And I went out there and I did what I did on emotion. And it's like playing golf. Like, if you've never played golf before, you go out and play 9 holes of golf and hit the ball pretty good. You go, God, this is easy. You do it for a couple of weeks, then you start thinking about it. And once you start thinking about it, you suck. Mm-hmm. So this was still in the infancy stage of my career, where I wasn't thinking about things. I was just going out there and doing it. So that was the number one. The number one was the Undertaker Brock at WrestleMania, when Brock ended the streak. Because I know most of the outcomes. I didn't know the outcome that night. And if you go back and listen to the call, when Brock hit him with an F5, I assumed, because I had no idea the streak was ending, I assumed that it was going to be a kick out. And I called it like I almost knew. One of the things in our business is every finish could be the end of the match. Well, I didn't think it was the end of the match. I think psychologically it was like F5 and 1, 2, and then when the 3 happened, I just stopped. Everybody stopped. And you're like, holy shit, what the hell just happened? And it's like, okay, the streak's over. And that's basically how I presented it. And So that was the second one. And my favorite match of all time ever was the night that Eddie Guerrero beat Brock Lesnar for the championship in San Francisco, California at the old Cow Palace. That, to me, was my favorite call. I believe the best call that Taz and I ever had as a team. But more importantly, just because it was Eddie. Eddie and I were real good friends. Real close with Vicky in the family as well. And just to see Eddie have that moment and to be able to be there and call it for Eddie, because no one in a million years ever thought Eddie Guerrero was A, going to win the championship, and B, beat Brock Lesnar to win the championship. And it happened. And that was just one of those incredible moments that I'll never forget. And it was the highlight of my career.
Well, Mr. Cole, Michael Cole, boss man, cult guy, River of Flames guy, political campaign guy, an incredible coach, mentor, and voice of the WWE. I appreciate you so much for joining us. You're the absolute man. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Cole. Thank you.
Hey, Pat, can I just say simply that I want to just, reinforce to everyone that you are a contributor. You're going to be a part of WWE program.
Let's go.
Going forward. You're going to be providing a lot of stuff on a digital platform. I think one of the beauties of our relationship, Pat, is I don't think anybody's, I think the only place that they're positive that you're going to show up on a regular basis is going to be at takeovers. But other than that, I think it's going to be pretty cool because you never know when something's going to drop on our platforms from Pat McAfee. And I think that's going to be pretty incredible. And I'll tell you, I'm really proud of what you accomplished, Pat. And, I don't want to turn this into a love fest. I'm not that type of guy. You know that. But I'm really happy and, that you and your team, and especially Foxy, more importantly than you, are actually on board here. And I can't wait to see what we're going to create together. And my dream, one day, down the road, before I hang it up and retire, is to actually call a Monday Night Raw with you. I think
It'd be an honor of mine, sir. I appreciate you. You got a great team right now, and I'm just excited to join it. And I can't wait to see what magic we can make. And I can't thank you enough for the opportunity. You're the greatest, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest man of all time, Sean Coulthard.
And on that note,
hey, thank you so much.
By the way, we never talked about ever switching your name.
I know there was never even a thought. I just assumed that since it's already known for being dumb enough, my name Pat McAfee, we just stick with it.
Can I leave you guys with a question?
Yeah.
That you guys can debate, for forever and always.
Yeah.
If I had to change Pat's name, what would we change it to?
Okay, there it is. That's the Twitter question. Tag me in it. Michael Cole says he doesn't check social media, so let's just blow up his phone so the notifications go crazy. Tag Michael Cole in it, tag the NXT in it, and tag the boys in it, and that's how we'll end the show. And if you get the best answer, best name, something that pops Michael Cole, makes him laugh, we'll give you some free merch from store.patmcafeeshow.com. We have a huge St. Patty's Day line coming out. Thank you all so much for listening, and thank you so much to Michael Cole. Have a great day. Ty Schmidt, hit the music.